Hey everyone, Adam Crisantello here from Move Aware to bring you your Mindful Monday tip. So, one of the biggest things I find with working with clients, or even myself sometimes, is finding time for meditation or mindfulness practice. Well, the gym is actually a really great opportunity to implement that mindfulness practice. So, yoga is really not the only game in town when it comes to incorporating mindful movement. Thankfully, for some people, because we spend more time sometimes in the gym than we do in the yoga studio. That's cool. That's whatever your practice is. So, anyway, we're going to work on something called mindful recovery. So, we're basically taking that opportunity between our sets, our working sets, and we're wedging some mindfulness in there. Now, of course, we're going to get benefits of meditation from that, and you can Google or you can look at previous sites and previous blog posts to see the benefits of that. However, you're also going to get some performance and movement benefits. Now, that might be surprising to some of you, but this is how it happens that way. So, when you have space in between sets and you start to incorporate this meditative practice and this mindful recovery, you'll have a basic level of biofeedback, which is your ability to, one, understand your readiness state. Hey, am I a go or no go time? And also manipulate that state. Oh, so I can amp up, or if I'm breathing too rapidly, I'm not getting enough deep oxygen within my system through these deeper breaths, then I've got an opportunity to regulate that and improve my performance. So you've got that going on. That really helps. One, that helps not only for physical readiness, but also mental readiness. So if you're doing something that's very technical and you're anxious and you start to go deep breaths and you're starting to reduce that nerve impulse to go, okay, I gotta do something, and you get really shaky, and then you're less efficient or maybe make more movement mistakes. This is one opportunity to use that and implement it successfully, and not only just in the gym, but also competitions. So that's cool. Also, we were talking about regulation of breath. Well, if you're paying attention to your breath, you can start to expand and introduce more oxygen in your system and improve your recovery. So less recovery time or better performance with the same recovery time. So those are just a few benefits physically for performance. And like I said, you're still getting some of the mental and cognitive benefits. One of my favorite pieces of this is I start to feel what my body is doing, and it actually translates into my sets. So if I just go through and I'm like, I'm in the go state, I'm like, I'm going to go and execute. Sometimes you just think about, hey, I sat down or I squatted and I lift the bar back up. That was successful. However, sometimes you don't understand that maybe the technique within that wasn't as successful as we would want it to be. So that's also one of the really big things. You start to feel, you build this proprioceptive and kinesthetic awareness because you're able to pay attention more and focus. So here's an example of how to implement this in your movement practice. So we're going to go front squat just as an example, 5 sets, 3 reps. And what we're going to do is you're going to get to your working set, your first working set. And let's say it's a 2-minute rest. For those first 2 minutes after your first set, you're going to breathe deeply and count your breaths. So let's just say that my first set for 2 minutes, I counted breaths and it was 25 breaths. So my subsequent sets, my rest time is dictated by my breath count. So here, if you're like hyperventilating or you're really shallow, you'll start to bring that awareness to that, and you can start to relax a little bit, allow greater oxygen consumption, and prepare for your next set. So you want to do this in kind of some isolation. So if you are in the middle of a bunch of people going on, just try and get to the side a little bit. You don't have to go into a cave in the woods or anything like that. Just find a spot where you're going to be least likely or less likely to be disturbed. Then you're going to just simply notice your breath, counting. If you happen to lose count, just pick a number and go from there. Don't worry so much about the exact number. Worry more about, or don't worry at all, but focus more on the actual breath and what's happening in that moment. Now, some of you may be saying, well, I've meditated before, I've done this, but wouldn't this make me too calm to do something like a heavy deadlift or a sprint? Yeah, it has that ability to calm your nervous system and reduce performance. That's why I recommend intensifying your breath for the last 5 to 10 breaths, something like that. And that's really going to depend on your rest time a little bit more and the type of activity you are doing. But this way, you're improving or recycling yourself up. Now, this can be, just a faster breath. I like to do a little bit more intensity to it. Think about it as almost like a deep throaty breath. But I'll usually go through my nose still, and I'm still initiating through the stomach. My chest may rise as well, but I don't want it still shallow and just shoulders. That's everything. And you psych up and you're ready to go. So again, in between your sets, you're going to use your breath count as your time for rest. This is going to give you an opportunity to figure out how you can improve your performance through just mental and breathing and all these different things that we really just sometimes rush through. And you can brag to your friends that, hey, I meditated today and I lifted weights. I'm all about being as effective as possible with the least amount of effort. So hopefully that helps you have a mindful Monday and enjoy the rest of your day.